Greetings, welcome, Swagatham, Vanakkam, Jai Hind. It is with a heart full of overpowering sorrow that I make this video. I tremble to think of what happened in the Chinnaswamy Stadium in Bangalore yesterday. As the IPL victory of the Karnataka team, Royal Challengers Bangalore, was being celebrated, it turned into a horrendous, unthinkable tragedy, which claimed, as per reports, 11 lives and caused serious injury to more than 40 fellow human beings. Now, I know that human life, human nature being what it is, needs slots for celebrations because most of the time our life is lived from hand to mouth in a humdrum, monotonous fashion. And deep down, every human being craves for occasions of celebration because we realize deep in our bones, in the marrow of our bones, that life really is not meant to be lived like this. Our life must be a celebration. And therefore, deep within us, every human being, high or low, rich or poor, young or old, we harbor a thirst that is rarely met in day-to-day life, a thirst to experience life as a great celebration. And because life is not a celebration, due to what we have made of it, what we have done is we have created special slots for the celebratory aspect of life to be accommodated. And therefore, we have religious festivals, we have secular festivals like the Independence Day, the Republic Day, etc. But on top of that, we also continue to manufacture various occasions for celebration. And in India at the moment, the foremost such factory is the cricket, and within cricket, of course, the IPL. Now, I have absolutely no problem with human beings want to celebrate. In fact, I also would like to celebrate. But the question that I want to share with you is this. What exactly is it that we need to celebrate? What does it mean to celebrate? And what exactly is it that we need to celebrate? There are two kinds of celebrations. One is celebration, which is manufactured and offered to us on a platter, which is necessarily very transitory and momentary in its excitement, no matter how historical the experience is worked up to be. The other kind of celebration is celebration of an enduring kind, which is built up gradually by the participation of those people who celebrate. For example, when a team celebrates its achievement, it is celebrating an achievement that's been paved the way for over a period of time through sweat and blood, through hard work, through discipline, through training, etc. But that is not how the achievement of a team is celebrated by the people at large. As far as they are concerned, it's a momentary experience. The more historical it is made out to be, the better it is for them. And hereby hangs the tale. We need to understand the difference between these two completely different approaches to celebration. The second celebration is what I call a substitute celebration. The first celebration is a more authentic form of celebration because the ground for that celebration is created over a period of time in the manner that I very briefly alluded to. But in the second instance, the people who are made to participate in the achievements of a team are not the people who have had anything to do with it, but who participate in the achievement of this team in a vicarious manner without really having to do anything about it. For them, it is like a cooked dosha, masala dosha, served on a platter. They come and partake of it and feel very excited, and they have what we may call proxy achievements. They do nothing, but they want to participate in this. For example, if the RCB Bangalore has achieved this success, it's because they have trained hard for a long period of time. For 18 years, they have been trying to reach this milestone. It's only now that they have achieved it, but all these 18 years, they have been working towards it. But think of the people who came and crowded the Chinnaswamy Stadium in Bangalore to celebrate it. More than 300,000 people in a stadium whose capacity does not exceed 40,000. What kind of preparation, what kind of ground laying or foundation building activity were they part of? They had nothing to do with it. They came just to share that so-called great moment. In what sense is their moment? Well, it's their moment in the sense that they happen to belong to a state which presumably won this trophy. But if you really look at it, many of the players who made this great achievement, stellar achievement possible were not even Indians. So it's borrowed glory. On the sports level, this is the exact counterpart of what happens in the industrial level of Make in India. Make in India. People from outside come and use their expertise, their capital, etc., and produce something, and then we can say Make in India, Make in India. So this IPL is also cricket Make in India kind of thing. Now, I'm making this distinction not to belittle the IPL or the achievement of the RCB. I'm making this point because it has a much larger resonance, much larger application and significance. And what is that? Usually, my dear friends, the common man, the Aam Aadmi, who is stuck in the very humdrum, monotonous, and therefore boring way of life, completely bereft of any achievement and any authentic achievement that arises out of one's own experiences, one's own progress, one's own achievement. They're looking for an opportunity to make up for their accumulating and accumulated frustration and disenchantment with life. So rather than do something on their own and create for themselves authentic experiences of the celebratory or festival-like aspect of life, they would rather wait for somebody else to make their achievements so that they can be part of that. And that's precisely what happens here. So, the more historical the common man's need to celebrate something, celebrate somebody else's achievement, the more should it make us aware that the common man's life is becoming emptier, less and less significant, or the common man is experiencing more and more sharply the emptiness of his life, the insignificance of his life, which he tries to compensate with participating in this kind of experience so that he can derive some vicarious sense of achievement, satisfaction, euphoria, a feeling of high, what have you. Now, in order to understand this, I suggest that we keep two significant moments side by side, both pertaining to the state of Karnataka. One is the subject of our immediate discussion, which is the IPL victory, long-awaited IPL victory. And the other is a Karnataka author winning the Booker Prize, which is a significant achievement. This is showcasing the soft power of India overseas, winning global acclaim. Banu Mushtaq, the Kannada author, being awarded the Booker Prize for this year is not a small achievement. From my point of view, it is not second to the achievement of the RCB in winning the IPL. If anything, I would put it a notch higher. And yet, Banu Mushtaq will not be celebrated. There will not be a historical crowd of 300,000 or 400,000 people crowding into Chinnaswamy Stadium to suffocate themselves to death. Banu Mushtaq's achievement will not even perhaps find a mention in the Karnataka Assembly. There will be no public experience of celebration. Whereas an IPL achievement will be celebrated. Now, why do I mention this? I mention this because, unfortunately, the people of India are, I would say, if you don't mind, conspiratorially encouraged, or are they are being encouraged to invest their passion and excitement in things that have really no consequence to them. Please think for a moment. What value will this add to the life of the people in Karnataka? The fact that RCB has won the IPL championship this year. Is it going to add a straw worth of value to the life of a Kannadiga? Not at all. Whereas the achievement of Banu Mushtaq adds tremendous value to the life of the people of Karnataka, provided they have any cultural enlightenment. But the state is not doing anything to bring about this cultural renaissance of Karnataka. The state is eager to jump onto the bandwagon to borrow the glory and the distinction that the members of the team have won for themselves, so that the politicians also can turn it into a field day for themselves, which I think is completely dishonest. What has the present government done in order to make this achievement? I'm talking about the Karnataka government. To make this achievement possible? Zilch. And yet, when the public celebration comes, the politician must be at its forefront in order to harvest all its glory. And this is dishonest to the core. So my point is this. By getting people excited only about things like this, and by neglecting more substantial achievements, the like of which Banu Mushtaq has won, we are actually giving to our society a wrong and dangerous twist. And that dangerous, wrong, self-deprecating twist, to me, is as great a tragedy as the unfortunate and the most lamentable death of 11 people, all of them below the age of 40. It's an unmentionable tragedy. It's a heartbreaking tragedy. Even so, I tell you, long term, this other tragedy that I've just mentioned is at least equally lamentable, if not more lamentable. Now, let me put it even more bluntly. The more underdeveloped a people, the more frustrated and disenchanted a people, and the more the people feel that their life is empty, that their personality is insignificant, the greater is their craving to be part of something big. Now, how this becomes big is another interesting question. In this country, there was a time when hockey was our national excitement. Today, can you get even 3,000 people to come together for a hockey celebration? I doubt it very much. How come that cricket, which is not our game, is the colonial game invented by the British and inflicted on us? It is the colonial masters' entertainment of excessive, by which excessive leisure time is to be consumed. How come we are so excited about it? We are not so excited about soccer, about kabaddi, about hockey, about athletics, about basketball, about tennis, about badminton, and so on and so forth. How come we are so delirious, hysterical about cricket? So there's one reason for it. That's money, money, money. Money, money, money must be funny in the rich man's world. I could be wrong, but in terms of what I heard 18 years ago, and this was the talk of the town in Delhi at that time, and I don't have any documentary evidence to prove this, a student of mine became a very distinguished sports reporter, and he's the one who told me this. He said, "Sir, IPL has been invented to turn black money into white." Well, as I said, I don't know. But certainly one thing I know. Cricket has achieved this kind of larger-than-life dimension only for one reason. That's money, money, money. India is not the richest country in the world, am I right? But BCCI is the richest sports organization anywhere in the world by many a good English mile. And not only that, this fabulous, mammoth, mind-boggling income of BCCI is completely exempted from tax. If you have an institution, education institution, you pay tax. If you run a research laboratory, you pay tax for the equipment that you import. But BCCI is completely exempted from tax. And on a moderate computation, the revenue that the government of India is foregoing on account of this excessive charity shown to BCCI is to the tune of 4,000 to 5,000 crores. That much income that otherwise would have accrued to the government of India via tax on BBC is very easily foregone. Whereas no such leeway will be shown to an education institution. I was a principal of St. Stephen's College, so I can speak about this with some degree of authority and conviction based on personal experience. All of a sudden, a huge bill of about nearly 2 crores was slapped on St. Stephen's College as the tax that I had to pay on account of the land tax, which had accumulated over a period of time because the college was under the impression that the education institution was exempted from that tax. So ultimately, I had to scrape the bottom and pay that money. BCCI? No, nobody would touch that sacred cow. Now, this is something that we need to understand. And this glamour, Sachin Tendulkar is God, Dhoni is God, now we have another God, Virat Kohli. Now, how have they become gods? They are transformed into gods so that they become excellent material for advertisement. The advertisement that will push up the interest of the industrial class and create the sense of false euphoria about people and about our achievements. It's all completely contrived. Now, if you don't mind my saying this, the ruling elite have a vested interest in doing this because creating this kind of baseless euphoria in which people in their millions can be made to participate becomes a very cheap and convenient substitute for actually creating a sense of national excitement about genuine national achievements. Now, take for example, liquor. Why is it that liquor, in spite of Gandhi's stand on liquor, why is it that liquor is manufactured, sold, promoted, etc.? Well, you might say, well, excise, liquor excise is a big income for the government. Yes, but that's not the main reason. The main reason is that the large-scale, widespread consumption of alcohol, consumption of liquor disables the spirit of resistance. It's very easy to make a people docile by promoting the consumption of liquor. This is also the reason why consumption of liquor is officially promoted or at least countenanced in the army. There is no army in the world where subsidized liquor is not provided to soldiers. Why? You must ask yourself why. So the same principle applies to the creation of this artificial excitement, whether it be on account of cricket or anything else. Otherwise, please think for a moment, what value does cricket add to your day-to-day life? Both whether it is now or 5 years now or 100 years from now. It's only a substitute gratification. It's excitement by proxy. It affords vicarious satisfaction over people who otherwise are disenchanted with their predicament. A person who has a sense of achievement about what he has done in life will not make a beeline to get into Chinnaswamy Stadium, there to be crushed to death. And that brings me to the second point I want to make. How come that we are interested in cricket but not interested in life? Do you think that the people, the authorities in Karnataka did not know? The organizers of this event did not know that if 300,000, 400,000 people are squeezed into a stadium whose capacity is only 30 to 40,000, the results can be disastrous? Are we that stupid? No. The reason why this tragedy has happened is, unfortunately, there is no value attached to human life, particularly the life of the common man, the life of the poor. You will not have a rich man or influential man, a powerful man crushed to death in this manner. Who are the people who die in stampedes? The poor, the faceless, nameless poor, whose life is dispensable. So, how is value added to your life? And that's something that you need to understand. Even if you celebrate 1,000 IPL victories, not even one paisa worth is added to your life. Worth or value can be added to your person or personality or to your life only through your personal achievement. And all these things are serving as mere diversionary tactics to deflect your attention from the fact that your life is today stuck in the mud of insignificance. It's a terrible thing. It's the opium. Cricket in India has become the opium of the people. It's dangerous in itself. Now, I was very happy to come across a WhatsApp message being circulated in social media. I want to conclude this video by merely reading out that message, that WhatsApp message. It is by Dr. Srivastava of the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. Dr. Srivastava, a very brilliant scientist who works in the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. I'm not going to give any personal comment. Let me just share the text. This is what he says. Professor Mayank Srivastava, professor at IIC Bengaluru, asks, India doesn't lack money. Indians don't lack money. What we lack is the vision to invest in the future. Just look at the numbers. IPL 2023, that is 2 years ago, IPL 2023, total revenue was 11,770 crores. 11,770 crores was the income from IPL in 2023. And out of that, BCCI gathered a surplus of 5,120 crores. 5,120 crores. 3-year cumulative IPL profits for BCCI is 15,000 crores. 3 years, in 3 years' time, BCCI has made a profit of 15,000 crores. And if this amount were taxed at the rate of, say, 40% or even 30%, what would have been the income the government would have gathered by taxing the income, BCCI's income from IPL? About 4,500 to 5,000 crores would have been gained by way of additional revenue by the government. And imagine that money being invested in education and research, etc. What would have been the long-term benefit for the country? Now, the government is very happy to forego that revenue. Whereas you and I, if there's a slight discrepancy of 1 rupee in filing our income tax, we get into trouble, right? So potential tax at this, and that potential tax, which was written away by the government of India or foregone by the government of India, would have built 10 new IITs, 100 good colleges. I'm just adding, it's not Professor Srivastava, I'm telling you, 100 wonderful, top-level, top-notch colleges could have been started. 800 to 1,200 crores per year. If that much money could have been invested into research, promotion of research, this country would have had a fantastic gain out of it. If the profit of BCCI had been adequately taxed, there would have been 6,000 crores per annum available to invest in the promotion of research in this country. It's not what I'm saying, it's what Professor Srivastava is saying. And I read on. Here is the irony. BCCI pays no income tax because it's invested with charitable status. Research labs pay GST on equipment. If you import an equipment, any equipment for a research lab, unless you get special exemption, you have to pay GST. And it's so very difficult to get special exemption. Bollywood, religious trusts, sports leagues are all tax-free, but research labs are taxed. So Dr. Srivastava says, entertainment is subsidized, research is taxed. Now the real question. Why does a cricket board enjoy tax exemption while research institutions struggle for funding? Why are we taxing microscopes but not match tickets? If India truly dreams of becoming a tech powerhouse, is this where our money should go, into cricket? Do we become a tech powerhouse by spending thousands and thousands of crores on cricket? We cheer for sixes, but who is cheering for science? Right? So this is, my friends, this is where we stand. And if this is our culture, if this is our value system, this is our outlook, this is our present disposition, what is the ground for great expectation regarding the future? The foundation or the seed for future achievement has to be sown today. The state is progressively withdrawing from education. Annually, about 10% government, state subsidy or grant for education is being cut. But there will be no cut on gigantic sports bodies like BCCI. That institution will become richer and richer and richer. And don't forget, in this context, that wonderful gentleman called Lalit Modi, who is the mother and father of IPL. He decamped from India with hundreds of crores. If the report is right, about 12,000 crores. Has anything happened to him? He lives in royal comfort in London, entertaining all the big wigs from India who go there. Now, this is exactly how things are done. But the poor man who does not understand all of this gets excited, and he pays with his life for it. And therefore, the point I want to make, and I'm going to close on that, there's no point in being sentimental about these things. I don't sit and cry over these 11 lives snuffed out in their prime. I sit and cry over our wrong priorities, our cheap excitements, our lack of vision, our purblind attitude to the future, and the general indifference to the huge, exciting potential of this country, which is still not being tapped, for all the patriotism that we are so quick to flaunt. The real work to build a strong foundation for India so that the full potential of India in all its glory may be revealed to the astonishment of the global community may begin to happen in our lifetime. India is truly great. But whether or not Indians are good enough, responsible, and honest custodians of the greatness of India and the glory of India's destiny, time alone will prove. Well, I hope and pray that we don't have recurrences of this kind of tragedy. Lives, human lives being crushed into non-existence. Life being snuffed out for the sake of cheap entertainment. This is not the purpose of sports. What is the purpose of sports? Why should there be sports at all is another question, and I hope to deal with it in another video. Sports and games have their role to play, but that is not what we are seeing today. It's a far cry from the role that is actually envisaged for sports and games in a healthy society. More of that on a future occasion. Well, yes, I close this video paying my tribute to the lives lost. And I also want to appeal to the people of India to wake up from these false assumptions and realize that we are today being we are being excited about or being asked to be euphoric about apparent victories, achievements, trophies, etc., that have absolutely no bearing whatsoever on the meaning and scope of our life now or ever in the future. This is a bus ride to nowhere. There are far greater things we can do. Let's build our own lives. Let each Indian commit himself and herself to fulfilling his own personal destiny. Then the collective destiny of this country will be truly great. Thank you. Jai Hind.